Imagine a world where evil is locked away for 1,000 years, a paradise of peace and harmony. But what happens when that door is flung open once more? Today, we delve into a surprising revelation. The key to understanding this great mystery lies within the story of a singular angel, Abaddon. Who is this powerful figure, and why does God allow Satan to roam free again? Join us as we unravel this captivating tale that not only reshaped the heavens, but also speaks to each of our lives today. And as we explore this incredible journey, remember to subscribe and share where you're from or what miracles Jesus has done in your life below. May His blessings surround you, and know that Jesus will always be with you. As we explore the role of Abaddon in the Old Testament, we're invited into a realm that embodies both mystery and awe. Abaddon, mentioned sparingly yet powerfully, is not introduced as a character, but as an enigmatic presence felt throughout Scripture. In Job 26:6, we find one of the earliest mentions. The realm of the dead is naked before God. Destruction, Abaddon, lies uncovered. This dual reference to Sheol, often translated as the grave or the abode of the dead, suggests a profound realm where darkness holds sway and where Abaddon stands as a symbol of utter desolation. The term Abaddon itself is derived from a Hebrew root meaning to perish or to destroy, and this sets the tone for its portrayal throughout the texts. Abaddon is a name that conjures fear, evoking images of the ultimate depths of destruction. Proverbs 15:11 adds to this portrayal by stating, "Death and destruction, Abaddon, are before the Lord. How much more the hearts of the children of men." Here, the juxtaposition of divine awareness with the concealed aspects of the living heart suggests that even the deepest depths of Abaddon are not only seen but are understood by God. In the Old Testament framework, Abaddon is often linked with Sheol as a gatekeeper of sorts, a place where life as we know it ceases, a terminus unyielding in its finality. Yet, despite its daunting presentation, the presence of Abaddon serves as a stark reminder of God's omniscience and omnipotence. Even where human understanding fails, God's sight extends without effort. Abaddon thus becomes a paradox, a space of divine awareness precisely because of its concealment from humanity's grasp. While the Old Testament doesn't personify Abaddon as a being, these textual references plant seeds that hint at an undercurrent of control and supervision, attributes often associated with agents of God. This is where the overlap with the divine becomes most apparent. Fearsome as it may be, Abaddon's very existence underlines a universe that doesn't lie beyond God's reach or intention. In Job's inquiries, we see a depiction of God's dialogue with Job that invites reflection on the limits of human comprehension against divine perspective. If Abaddon is exposed before God, how much more is God capable of understanding the seemingly insurmountable challenges that lie in our own hearts and paths? Thus, within these sweeping metaphors, we find clues. It's a recognition of God's sovereignty over even the most destructive forces. Just as God is present in the expanse of the heavens and the beauty of the earth, so too is God present in Abaddon, a realm not outside His wisdom or dominion. This acknowledgement offers a unique spiritual alignment for believers, affirming their faith in a God who remains supreme across all dimensions, visible or hidden. This understanding of Abaddon in the Old Testament prepares the stage for the broader revelation that occurs in later texts. It integrates the human understanding of endings and destruction with a divine narrative that spans all creation, setting the scene for further examination in the New Testament. In bridging the Old with the New, the Old Testament's portrayal of Abaddon as a place lends a symbolic weight that transforms over time. With each mention, a piece of the divine puzzle falls into place, encouraging a deeper meditation on life, death, and the forces at work beneath the tangible world. As such, we're called to contemplate the enduring presence of God's Spirit, a reminder that even the darkest parts of our journey are seen and understood by the infinite eye of our Creator. In the tapestry of biblical prophecy, few images capture the imagination quite like the portrayal of Abaddon in the New Testament. As we delve further into Revelation 9:11, the figure of Abaddon transforms from being a mere concept or realm to a pivotal character in the cosmic battle between good and evil. In this part of the story, Abaddon emerges as the angel of the bottomless pit, holding the keys to a profound and intriguing dimension of God's divine narrative. Revelation 9:11 presents Abaddon as the warden over an army of locusts. These locusts are no ordinary creatures. They serve a unique purpose, prepared for targeted judgment in a world caught amidst transition. This imagery is rich and symbolic, pointing to more than just a literal interpretation. It suggests a divine order and plan, where Abaddon's role is to unlock an era of transformation. As the angel of the bottomless pit, Abaddon is not a force of chaos, but rather an agent of God's meticulous plan, manifesting the justice and judgment ordained from heaven. In the book of Revelation, the bottomless pit is described as a holding place, a symbol of the depth and enigma of divine judgment. Here, it becomes the site of significant events in the spiritual realm. Abaddon being given the key to this pit indicates authority and responsibility, a commission to execute a part of God's intricate design. It is here, in the shadow-drenched realm beneath the earth, that Satan will be bound and contained for 1,000 years. This act changes the landscape of spiritual warfare and sets the stage for a period foretold as the Millennium of Peace. The chapter artfully weaves imagery that any keen reader of apocalyptic literature would appreciate. These locusts, emerging from the abyss, almost symbolize the unleashing of pent-up divine justice. They are sent with a mission, a controlled chaos meant to prod humanity towards recognition and repentance. Abaddon, as the overseer of this event, punctuates the narrative of Revelation with his profound duty, fleshing out the comprehensive complexities of God's salvation plan. The locusts, commanded by Abaddon, are described with unusual detail. Their appearance evokes imagery of warriors prepared for battle, an embodiment of the spiritual confrontations yet to come. Their mission is targeted, affecting only those who lack the seal of God on their foreheads. This distinction is crucial, indicating a separation between the righteous and the unrepentant. It assures believers of protection, even when the world seems embroiled in chaos. Beyond its surface imagery, this narrative invites deeper reflections on Abaddon's role as a figure of transformation. It compels one to consider the dichotomy between destructive power and divine justice. While Abaddon oversees agents of turmoil, his role is inherently bound to a higher purpose, the eventual triumph of light over darkness. Through these vivid depictions, Revelation offers a glimpse into the end times, where ancient prophecies find fulfillment and moral order is reasserted in creation. The transformation of Abaddon's role in the New Testament showcases God's profound ability to repurpose and reclaim even the most fearsome elements for his glory. In this light, Abaddon becomes not just an angel of destruction, but a testament to the meticulous redemptive work of God throughout history. In this portrayal, believers are reminded of the sovereign control God maintains, even in the face of apparent disorder. As Satan is bound, Abaddon holds a crucial role in ushering a temporary defeat of evil, underlining the forthcoming Millennium of Peace. This phase of Abaddon's depiction holds vital lessons for us today. It emphasizes a formidable truth: nothing is beyond God's reach and use. The divine can transform even elements associated with destruction and despair into instruments of hope and order. For those grappling with the symbolism of Revelation, this chapter reassures that God's justice is absolute and perfectly timed. Where once Abaddon was seen as a cryptic force of dread, the New Testament reveals a transformed entity foundational to God's cosmic strategy. It is a testament that even in the process of seemingly punitive measures, God's ultimate intention remains the redemption and restoration of all creation. Understanding this aspect not only enhances the theological insights into the book of Revelation, but directs believers towards God's eternal promise, a world made new marked by peace and holiness. During the extraordinary phase known as the Millennium of Peace, the world is enveloped in tranquility, an era distinctly outlined in Revelation 20. This chapter provides a profound exploration of this unparalleled time in human history when Satan is bound and a world without his corrosive influence emerges. As this angel, Abaddon, enacts God's plan by sealing Satan, humanity witnesses a transformed earth where harmony and peace reign supreme. Centuries have long awaited such an existence, yearning for liberation from the struggles against evil that have dominated since the dawn of time. With Satan imprisoned, the contention between light and darkness shifts dramatically. The vivid descriptions in Isaiah 11:6-9 illustrate a world where the wolf lies with the lamb, and predators coexist peacefully with their prey, conveying not merely idyllic imagery, but also the profound reality of a fundamentally altered natural order. Yet amidst such transformation and peace, the complexity of humanity remains an ever-present undercurrent. For while Satan's presence and influence are nullified, the inherent sinful nature residing within each human soul does not simply vanish. This presents a confusing dichotomy, a divine environment encapsulating peace with human beings still wrestling with the shadows of sin, revealing the singular truth that evil can reside within, even in the absence of an external tempter. The Millennium of Peace permits the unveiling of a world where governance mirrors justice and compassion, illustrating the insight of a theocratic rule under Christ's sovereignty. Authority and rulership extend with righteousness, where leaders exercise power derived not from domination, but from servitude and love. Humanity finds itself governed by these divine principles, inspired by values contrary to selfishness and hostility. Community life during this unprecedented era thrives on collaboration and genuine love for one's neighbor, elements deeply embedded within the teachings of Jesus. This period symbolizes the actualization of the prayer that God's will be done on earth as it is in heaven, manifested through pure and unblemished relationships, where selfish ambitions are laid bare and rebuked. Yet this season of peace is not designed merely as a respite, but also as a profound evaluation of human nature, unswayed by satanic influence. The juxtaposition of prevalent peace against the backdrop of internal human struggle provides profound insights into individual and collective character. Why does God allow for Satan's release after such tranquility? This question permeates the narrative and becomes a point of reflection. The period unfurls as an examination of allegiance and purity of heart amidst ideal conditions. It beckons humanity to a deeper understanding of free will, probing whether peace alone suffices in eradicating the shadows within. The millennium thus becomes a testament to the human condition and the sustained commitment to righteous living. Even as children grow where once hostility flourished, each heart is invited to embrace or reject divine kinship authentically. Those who longed for a redeemed world now face the introspection of whether they truly desired to reflect God's divine character. During this era, we recognize an overarching theme, that genuine transformation necessitates more than external peace. It demands internal metamorphosis, an invitation to align with God's eternal plan. Those residing in this time encounter a perpetual calling to transcend superficial tranquility and pursue a heartfelt, sincere journey toward divine likeness. God's delicate allowance of growth and choice during this period establishes both the fairness and necessity of free will. The absence of external evil pressures human beings to earnestly assess their hearts, becoming an essential prelude to the narrative that follows, the release of Satan, which will unfurl yet another profound chapter in God's sovereign plan. As the world delights in harmonious existence, an enduring truth remains. Peace and purity are united in a sacred dance, each seamlessly carrying humanity closer to their destined encounter with divine grace or rebellion. Such is the complexity and beauty of the millennium, a divinely orchestrated prelude to the culminating drama when the final test awakens, profoundly weaving God's narrative into the fabric of eternity. As the narrative of the millennial peace draws to its inevitable climax, we turn our attention to a moment brimming with cosmic tension, the release of Satan. This release, as delineated in Revelation 27:8, is not merely a return to former chaos. It is a pivotal chapter in the grand story of good versus evil. Here lies a final test, a divine moment of reckoning where the true essence of humanity's heart is unveiled, and we are faced with the raw reality of choice and consequence. After a millennium of harmony, one might wonder why God would permit the adversary to be freed from his prison. The earth, having flourished in an unprecedented state of peace, offers a testament to what a world without evil might look like. Yet the release of Satan is not an arbitrary disturbance. It is a crucial moment woven into the fabric of divine justice and truth. It underscores the profound fairness of God's judgments and the essential role of human choice in his divine narrative. During the Millennium, peace reigns, but it does not erase the inherent sinfulness embedded within the human heart. God's allowance for Satan's temporary freedom serves as a dramatic reminder that external circumstances, no matter how ideal, do not wholly purify the human soul. Indeed, this moment exposes the truth that resides within, shining a light on the deep, often ignored inclination towards rebellion that lurks in the shadows of human nature. Despite the absence of external evil influences, the internal struggles persist, showcasing the complexity of human morality. This period of peace had offered countless opportunities for introspection and spiritual growth. However, the release of Satan acts as a catalyst that brings to the surface what lies dormant in the hearts of many. It reveals the stark reality that even amid tranquility, the allure of rebellion can awaken within the human spirit. The line between light and darkness becomes sharply defined, drawing many to choose sides in the cosmic battle being waged. The importance of this divine test lies in its revelation of true allegiance. It acts as a crucible, refining and determining the hearts that belong to God from those that do not. In this critical period, the essence of fair judgment is made evident. God's justice is not dispensed without first demonstrating the choices individuals are prepared to make when faced with the freedom to choose right from wrong, good from evil. It is a trial that necessitates the weighing of human will and divine decree within the grand design of salvation history. As the veil of deception is once again lifted through Satan's presence, it becomes clear how many are drawn, inexplicably, yet willingly into rebellion. This is not just a rebellion against earthly order, but an audacious stand against the very nature of divine love and righteousness. Despite the peace experienced, many gravitate towards the sphere of rebellion, indicating the depth of sin and its persisting pull. The ultimate purpose of this divine test goes beyond mere assessment. It serves to demonstrate the undeniable justice of God's decisions. His plan is to establish an eternal kingdom of righteousness, where every resident has willingly chosen fidelity and is refined through trials and tests. Through these, each soul's genuine allegiance is made clear, and the final emergence of God's justice manifests not just in punishment of the rebellious, but in the eternal reward for those who remain faithful. Therefore, the narrative of the final test speaks volumes about what it means to be human in a universe orchestrated by divine justice and love. It challenges us to consider the very root of sin and the potent power of free will granted by the Creator. More than a mere act of rebellion, this moment becomes a stark reflection of the enduring conflict between darkness and light, underscoring the significant role that human choice plays in the culmination of God's divine plan. In this climactic phase of history, we are invited to comprehend more fully the gravity of the eternal choices that we make daily. God, in His immeasurable wisdom, allows the final rebellion to reaffirm the importance of faith, commitment, and the pursuit of righteousness. It is a poignant reminder that while the forces of evil may rise momentarily, the ultimate victory belongs to those who stand steadfast in their pursuit of God's truth and light. As we observe the unfolding of this celestial drama, we are left to ponder our place within it and the choices we make that shape the contours of our eternal destiny. As we delve into the pivotal scene of the Great White Throne Judgment, we're drawn into a momentous and awe-inspiring culmination of God's eternal justice. This event, as described in Revelation 20:12-14, marks the definitive reckoning of humanity, where all are called to stand before the ultimate judge. In this grand courtroom, the stakes are eternal, and at the heart of this scene is the somber figure of Abaddon, who emerges now not as an agent of destruction, but as a herald of perfect justice. In the biblical narrative, Abaddon has long been shrouded in mystery, often associated with destruction as the angel of the abyss, Revelation 9:11. But at this critical juncture, Abaddon serves a new role, reflecting a facet of divine order and justice. This transformation signifies that even those entities once perceived purely as harbingers of doom have a place in the grander scheme of God's justice. This transformation challenges our perceptions, encouraging us to consider the multifaceted roles that both celestial and earthly beings play in God's plan. The great white throne judgment itself is a compelling illustration of divine fairness. In this awe-inspiring scene, described vividly in the book of Revelation, we see the dead, both great and small, standing before the throne. The books are opened, representing the records of deeds of every soul. Alongside them is the book of life, which holds the names of those who have chosen righteousness through faith, a registry revealing the ultimate destiny of each individual. The significance of the book of life at this moment cannot be overstated. It serves not just as a record of names, but as a testament to the choices made in each person's earthly journey. In that great ledger, inked is the testimony of lives lived, choices embraced, and paths taken. This heavenly record does not simply document deeds, it echoes the profound weight of each moral and ethical decision we make. The very existence of such a book impels us to reflect on our daily lives, urging us to consider how our actions, however trivial they may seem, impact our eternal standing. As we contemplate this foreseen event, its relevance to our present life comes into sharp focus. We stand at a crossroads daily, facing myriad choices that define our character and spiritual trajectory. If the notion of being weighed and measured by our deeds seems daunting, it is meant to be a humbling call to action. It prods us into introspection, to evaluate how we prioritize our values and align our lives with divine wisdom. Representation of Abaddon's new role also offers a profound lesson in redemption and purpose. It suggests that even in roles typically viewed as adversarial or destructive, there exists divine potential and the ability for transformation. In this light, Abaddon becomes a symbol of the comprehensiveness of God's justice, that it includes every being and every deed in its scope, ensuring whatever their roles or destinies, they ultimately serve righteousness. In everyday terms, this vision of the great white throne judgment conveys a crucial reminder about the temporality of earthly concerns versus the permanence of divine realities. Our choices in this life resonate far beyond our immediate context. They echo into eternity, recorded not merely in the annals of time, but in the very fabric of divine justice. This should not incite fear, but inspire thoughtful living, committed to love, truth, and justice. Each of us is invited to orient our lives towards what is eternal, to live not for the fleeting gratifications of the world, but for the enduring promise of a life aligned with God's purposes. We are drawn to live in faith, which does not rely on seeing the full narrative, but trusts in the divine author, who weaves all things together. Abaddon's role, alongside the grand unfolding of the great white throne judgment, urges us to consider the miraculous potential for redemption and purpose within God's creation. It speaks to the possibility inherent in each choice we make, each day we live, and how our faith-driven actions lead us toward being part of God's transformative story. This chapter of prophecy is not merely a distant eschatological promise, it is a present invitation. An invitation to choose the path of faith and righteousness daily, creating an eternal ripple effect as significant and resonant as the one recorded in the Book of Life. In embracing this path, we align ourselves with the divine vision and justice that the great white throne judgment exemplifies.